today's show, we help you set boundaries, pick your next car, and meet that special someone on vacation.
It's that emotion, it's that adrenaline, like all that helps with building relationships.
Plus,
you have fought long enough, Galadriel.
Revisit the lands of Middle-earth.
You have not seen what I've seen.
But up first,
Love.
uncover the hidden treasures of thrifting.
Look what she found.
It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey friends, I'm Christina Guerrero. Now, if you like the idea of saving money and helping the environment while you upgrade your wardrobe, well, you might want to join the growing group of people discovering the joys of buying secondhand. Teresa Strasser has a guide to the do's and don'ts of thrifting, and that's our featured story at the top of the list.
Whether it's the killer discounts or the thrill of finding a wardrobe gem,
Love.
you should know now's the time to get into the thrifting game.
It seemed like there was a lag, and then all of a sudden that pandemic came and thrifting blew up again.
You know, we had to stay isolated for a little bit. So a lot of people sold clothing that they probably never wore before. And here we are in the land of amazing deals.
Fashion expert Juliana Garton's got some tips and tricks that'll turn you into a thrift shopping pro.
No, I seriously want this.
First, know when's the right time to buy.
And I know you're careful about when you hit the thrift store.
Every store, look, find your local store, they have the timeline for when they completely recycle the stores.
Take end of season sales, for example.
They want to get rid of as much as they want because the new season is coming.
So you're saying ask the person you trust at your local thrift store, like, what day do you get in shipments or what time?
Yes.
Once you know those huge price drops are going to happen,
Look, yeah. Look what she found.
that's your cue to invest in that high-end piece.
A little black dress is always in, and you found a real nice one.
Real nice one. And the quality is amazing, perfect. You can tell probably they were once.
Do you think?
It's perfect condition.
Thrift stores may be a gold mine for unique items, but don't skimp on wardrobe basics.
It's always easy to find the basics, pieces that we want to wear every day.
That includes men and women, pieces like button-down shirts,
Is this the type of white shirt that you're thinking?
Yes, perfect.
jackets for work, jeans, even graphic tees.
That's a great one. Look at that. It's fun. You're going to always have it, always wear it, and then mix and match with pieces that you have, accessorize with handbags. But yeah, t-shirts, jackets, jeans.
Okay.
Finally, one of the caveats of thrift shopping is that we oftentimes fall in love with something great but not perfect. Are alterations or repairs worth it?
So here's this gorgeous designer bag. And like, look, somebody's been pulling this too many times, and you can see that it could be fixed.
Or this pink pair of Manolo Blahnik heels I spotted.
These are amazing. Okay, but they have a little damage. Should you just put those back on the shelf? It would be a good deal, but it is a little bit damaged.
I mean, you love the piece. You already shop for that brand. You know well about that brand. Why not?
A generous discount will offset the cost of repairs that will extend the life of an already good quality brand piece.
My first pair of Manolas, under 25 bucks.
We're getting you ready to thrift shop till you drop at the top of the list.
If you stop and do a head count, the number of people you stay in touch with is probably way more than you'd think. And while some of these connections are fruitful, some could be holding you back. Jackie Denker shows us how to tell the difference and make sure you have the right people in your life.
We connect with people in so many aspects of life, and
the reality is the world has shrunk by virtue of all these various platforms. And so we are so over-connected.
Some of those connections will contribute to our success, and some not so much. So to learn who to keep close, we turned to founder of iSpark Change, Rick Ornelas. Starting with limited connections.
You'll find that they take a drain on your time. You only have 5 minutes and they take 15. That drain on your time can be detrimental and can have an impact on your success.
So if someone at work is eating up your time,
you would say, hey, Jackie, I'd love to chat, but I'm up against a deadline. So maybe you can send me an email with your questions and then I can get back to you a lot quicker.
So you're not completely cutting them off, you are setting up a boundary for your own productivity.
And then you can decide if it is something to expand.
Now let's talk about expanded connections.
Expanded connections are those individuals that bring out the best in you. They inspire you to grow. They challenge you when necessary.
So to get the most out of these relationships, seek to add value to their lives first.
Maybe it's supporting them at an event, writing some thoughtful comments on something that they wrote online without the expectation of anything in return.
And then
you can seek to learn from them.
You can say something like,
hey, I really appreciated your comments in that last meeting and I'd love to learn more. How about I take you for coffee? Or how about I take you to lunch so I can learn more?
Finally, disconnections.
Disconnections are the negative influences in your life that you need to completely eliminate. These are the people that bring you down. They don't support you in any way.
For example,
let's say you're on a good trajectory with your career, with your life, with your mental well-being, and then someone that's a negative influence starts to take you off course.
So if you identify that this is happening, it's time to say goodbye.
You can simply tell them that you are going in a different direction and that you can ask for their support. If you can't do that, I understand, no hard feelings.
Succeeding in life by learning about our connections and disconnections.
Fall is the traditional season when new vehicles arrive in dealer showrooms, but will you go with an SUV, sports car, pickup, or minivan? Well, Jimmy Rhodes says it all comes down to one question. What kind of driver are you?
Cut the sandwich across or diagonal, over-the-ear headphones or earbuds, dip the fries or put the ketchup on top. These all probably mean something, but according to Consumer Reports' Mike Quincy, nothing pegs your personality quite like the way you drive.
We looked at cars and how people drive.
That's right, answer a few questions, and Consumer Reports' online quiz will tell you what kind of driver you are and what kind of car might be a good match for your driving style. We're running them down, starting with the performance driver.
This is the kind of driver that says, hey, let's take the long way home through these twisty, curvy roads because I've got the kind of car that will maximize that kind of performance.
A good match for the performance driver? The Toyota Supra.
Toyota matched up with BMW to create this awesome rear-wheel drive two-seater sports car. It has incredible handling, an amazing powertrain, and it really defines most of anything that you're looking for when it comes to performance driver.
Next, there's the defensive driver.
A defensive driver is more looking for a vehicle that is maybe, let's call it sensible.
So they want sensible features.
Good controls, lots of safety features.
The match?
The Kia Telluride. This is a 3-row SUV that not only did really well in Consumer Reports ratings, it has super easy to use controls.
The next type of driver from Consumer Reports online quiz, the rough and tumble driver.
Let's get this thing dirty. Let's get a vehicle with aggressive tires, high ground clearance.
No surprise which vehicle tops this list.
The Jeep Wrangler. It's noisy, it rides rough, it's hard to get in and out of. But the thing is, a rough and tumble driver, they don't care about any of this. In fact, it's more of like a badge of honor.
Finally, don't confuse the power driver with the performance driver.
The power drivers are really more into straight line speed.
And for acceleration, cue up another icon.
The Ford Mustang GT. We're talking about a 5-liter V8. It epitomizes awesome straight line acceleration.
You can take the quiz at consumerreports.org/carsdriving/what kind of driver are you quiz.
The cool thing about the United States auto industry is that there really truly is something for everyone.
We're finding you a car based on how you drive.
Still to come on the list, travel tips for singles on vacation.
It's about doing things you haven't done before.
And how to open new worlds for kids.
Books can provide an escape.
Plus,
this could be the beginning of a new era.
See the start of the Ring Saga.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth.
All that and more next.
Hey YouTube, I know you're right in the middle of watching and this is such a good episode, but I just wanted to remind you to hit subscribe. Did you do it? And turn on notifications. Did you do it? So you don't miss 1 minute of the list. Okay, back to the show. Welcome back, folks. Okay, while traveling alone has a lot of advantages, freedom-wise, it can get a bit lonely. So if you decide you want some company along the way, Hattie DiGiamal has some vacation dating tips.
People are traveling with newfound gusto. And if you found yourself traveling solo and want some companionship, why not embrace the adventure?
It's about new experiences and doing things you haven't done before, being around people you may not have been around before, learning new cultures, new foods, new everything, and taking in a new environment.
Jonathan Kirkland, head of brand and marketing for BLK, the world's largest dating app for Black singles, shares some tips to meet people while traveling solo. For starters, multitask your location.
If you're more of an adventure traveler versus a leisure traveler, you can still do all those things within the same trip.
A beach trip can be leisurely and romantic. A hiking trip can be adventurous and romantic.
So you find somebody that you meet at the restaurant or at the bar that you like, have a beach day.
The person you meet will determine what the experience blossoms into.
Like a hike or a zip line. It sounds adventurous, but if you find somebody on the trip that you like, you have a close connection on that zip line, you know?
He says group vacation activities give you the chance to get to know other people in a less formal way.
Because it's really experiences that unite people and bond people.
Next, be open-minded.
The best part about being open-minded is open to new cultures, new experiences, new people.
Sometimes you have to step outside of your comfort zone, but Jonathan says that's where singles group trips can make things a little easier and fun.
Zip lining or hiking or scuba diving and snorkeling, like we both survived this feat that we never expected was gonna happen. And again, it's that emotion, it's that adrenaline, like all that helps with building relationships.
Through this, you can develop a romantic rapport or a lifelong friendship.
Put yourself in those spaces that you're not familiar or comfortable with. That's the only way to grow.
Finally, pack accordingly.
Days can run into nights on vacations. The nights can run into days. You know, you might need to wear pants or be a little more dressed up if you go to a restaurant or to dinner or even to clubs sometimes.
While vacation shopping is fun, don't rely on buying unnecessary items while you're traveling.
Bring something for every occasion, but not overdo it.
You never know when someone new will ask you to join them for a day or night adventure.
Whether it's friends or relationships or romantic, you meet people on a deeper level, I feel.
Letting your vacation become an adventure of the heart.
Well, love does make the world go round, and these stories of people giving back show that. They are your friendly reminder that kindness wins. At number 1, an initiative with one goal in mind: to get books into the hands of children who need them.
Many children in low-income neighborhoods lack access to books.
The Scripps Howard Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the List's parent company, E.W. Scripps, and they are teaming up with Kellogg's to donate free books to the If You Give a Child a Book campaign.
When you buy a box, you can get a free book, turning boxes into books.
Every time you purchase a participating Kellogg's product at a Kroger-based store, it can be leveraged through their Feeding Reading program to donate up to 2 books to the campaign.
Making sure that kids have access to books is just so important because books can provide an escape.
You have until the end of September to participate, and all you have to do is take a picture of your receipt and upload it to feedingreading.com. At number 2, meet Brandy McCumber and Tamara Bain, best friends who turned an annual road trip tradition into something extra special.
These are all for you to use however you need them. You are so welcome.
This year, the Iowa natives traveled through Illinois, where they decided to hand out some very generous tips to servers.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
And of course, it was all documented on their Facebook page called You Can't Be Serious. Tips started at just over $200, and by the end of the trip, went up to about $1,800. Money that was collected via Venmo donations.
It's unreal. You guys did all of this.
We're just the vehicle making it happen.
We're the messenger.
Incredible. And finally, we take you to Arizona, where one man's recent feat helped support a generous cause. Clayton Wolf is a Scottsdale realtor who was able to reach the top of Mount Everest and did so while raising over $14,000 for kids in need.
Definitely tears in your eyes when you're up there. You're on top of the world.
The money was raised through the Scottsdale 2030 Club, which helps local nonprofits that support the needs of children around the state.
Not only did people help me raise money for a really good cause, but they got a little piece of the summit too.
Very cool. To learn more about the organization, visit scottsdale2030.org. And those are 3 stories that show kindness wins. And coming up, we are taking a closer look at the highly anticipated series, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. It premieres on Prime Video next Friday, so we are getting you ready. with some things you need to know about it. Stay with us.
We have a quick list with Mr. Manners, Thomas Farley, of do's and don'ts for eating on a date.
A lot of people have big pet peeves when it comes to other people's eating habits.
First, don't talk with your mouth full or chew loudly.
Very loud chewing or smacking of one's lips, it's simply not a pleasant sound. People do not enjoy seeing your partially chewed chicken parm that you just ate.
Second, do take small bites.
Simply take smaller bites and ensure that there's a conversation going on. It's not a monologue where you feel that you need to simultaneously eat and speak.
And third, when in doubt, do opt for pasta.
Something like a penne, where it's quite easy with a fork to look very neat and have no dribble on your face while doing so.
For more list tips, head to thelisttv.com.
We are back, and on today's watch list, 21 years have passed since the first Lord of the Rings movie debuted in theaters. And next Friday, Amazon's TV series based on J.R.R. Tolkien's iconic books will be streaming us back to Middle-earth. So Jimmy Rhodes is getting us ready with a look at the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power.
There was a time when the world was so young.
It's time to return to Middle-earth.
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power is coming to Amazon Prime Video on September 2nd, and it is one of the biggest bets that the streaming service has ever made in its entire history. It's very exciting.
Talking about the new show and what to expect is managing editor for Decider.com, Alexander Zalbin. Starting with the source material and the success of the movies.
Call to me, lands far away.
These books have been huge, sold millions of copies worldwide, and captured the attention of millions and millions of people in the years since they were published.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
Based on the books by J.R.R. Tolkien, the two movie franchises, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, have grossed over $5.8 billion at the box office combined, with the former winning 17 Academy Awards, the most wins by any movie trilogy.
People have been happy not just to watch the movies, but extended editions that were sent back to theaters that were even longer and arguably even better.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
Up next, the making of the new series.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Amazon put down initially $250 million, not for the Lord of the Rings books, but for The Hobbit and the appendices on the books, other information there that bounces around the main stories.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth.
With a 5-season production commitment worth at least $1 billion, this is the most expensive television series ever made.
The Second Age is the great unfilmed story in Tolkien's entire legendarium, with the forging of the rings and the last alliance. And we felt that that was the story that deserved to be told.
And finally, what fans can expect.
You have not seen what I've seen.
This series actually takes place thousands of years before the movies took place in the Second Age of Middle-earth.
The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
I think the scope of the show is massive. This is the time where the characters and species that we know and love become who we know them to be.
Returning to Middle-earth on the watch list.
Well, I'm going to have to binge the original with my kiddos. New Lord of the Rings generation for sure. All right, coming up, are Jimmy and I as happy as we seem on the show? What's last on our list is next.
Want more mouth-watering recipes?
Absolutely delicious.
How about the latest fitness trends?
It can help calm us, improve our mood.
Financial tips?
People who budget will succeed.
Go to thelisttv.com and get uninterrupted access to great lifestyle trends, tips, and helpful hints, all at your fingertips.
You've got something that looks a little bit more unique.
Get what's new, what's now, and what's next. thelisttv.com.
Welcome back, friends. friends. You know, it is lonely up here on today's Last on Our List with Jimmy out, and that got me thinking about my relationship with my co-host. Do we truly have a healthy and hopeful union? Well, a story in the Huffington Post says there are a few things that happy couples do differently than presumably miserable couples, so I thought I would run down the list and see if it applies to Jimmy and me. Okay, at number 1, they speak their minds. Well, Jimmy really does that to his detriment sometimes, because a lot of times what's on his mind is crazy. But yes, check, we speak our minds. At number 2, their conversations go beyond surface level. Okay, true story, we once had an in-depth conversation about whether dogs should make their own will before they die. Now, I would say that goes beyond the occasional nice weather we're having convo, so yes, check. At number 3, they are gentle with each other. Now, as long as I don't talk smack about his Detroit Lions or he doesn't call me Chrissy, then we're actually very kind to each other. So yes, another check. A few more. Happy couples fight fairly, pursue their own hobbies and interests, and they give each other the benefit of the doubt. Check, check, and check. Well, there you have it, folks. In case you were wondering, Jimmy and I are a very happy TV couple. And that's what's last on our list. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys. Thanks so much for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to like this video, leave us a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a list. Now, in case you wanted to hang out just a little bit more, I picked out these episodes just for you. Just click.